Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. All right, you asked for it, I'm delivering. Y'all wanted to see the DTEK60, bam, here it is. I spent my hard-earned money, I bought a brand new one sealed in the box. And now we're gonna take a look at it in 2020 in this unboxing and first impressions video. Came out in 2016, the first brainchild of TCL, outsourced from BlAckBerRy themselves to give us a really good Android device, supposedly. I've never actually played with one before, so I'm kind of interested in taking a look at it. 5.5-inch screen, Quad HD, Snapdragon 820, a lot of the same specs as the Samsung Galaxy S7 back then. So before we get too far into this and I run my mouth too much, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's take a look at the DTEK60. Okay, let's go ahead and take the DTEK60 out of the box. You can see here from looking at the front of it, it looks very, very familiar to the Key Series devices with BlackBerry Mobile, and that's because TCL made this phone. 5.5-inch Amoled, 534 pixels per inch, 28 megapixel camera, lots and lots of goodies in here. Running the latest and greatest Android Marshmallow way back in the day. This is a 2016 phone, folks. And now I'll go ahead and use my handy dandy unboxing tool to cut the tape. I always like to buy these brand new if possible. You know, it's really just not the same experience whenever you buy a phone and it's used and you're like, yeah, it's fine if you want to use it, but for something like this, I want a new phone. All right, here we are with the DTEK60, our first look, opening the box. And you can see here, we've got that DTEK shield on the front, got the convenience key over there on the side, which I thought was the power button, but it's not. The camera bump on the back for that 21 megapixel camera is pretty substantial. And go ahead and take the sticker off the back as well. It looks really, really nice. I'm not really sure what they were doing with the design process stuff back then, but this is a sharp looking phone. I really like the way that it looks. And of course it's got Gorilla Glass on it on the front and the back. Really fancy. You can see the BlackBerry logo, all the good stuff that you need. Yeah, it looks very much like it could have been a legitimate BlackBerry device. I mean, it is. It was made by TCL, but I wish that BlackBerry would have continued making their phones. However, switching this over and outsourcing it to TCL really wasn't the worst thing that they ever did. It's so hard to get the autofocus on these things right with all the lights. The Galaxy S20, you're recording it, you get one little glare, and then all of a sudden the camera starts going wonky. So go ahead and plug it in there because I thought it was dead. The power button's on the top left. It's great if you're left-handed, and I'll talk more about that later, but there's the instructions starting guide, which nobody ever reads, so I'll go ahead and toss it off the table. We've got our SIM removal tool. We've got this international charger that's in here as well, which I can't use on anything. If anybody wants it, let me know. I'll send it to you. Got the earbuds in here, so that's nice as well. That's not the earbuds. I mean, this is the USB-C cable. The earbuds are in the other one. I have to use my own regular charging brick here at the house, but I was really surprised it was USB. I thought that we were still in micro USB territory back when all of this was going on, so pretty cool there. They really didn't skimp on anything with this phone. You've got, like I said, the BlackBerry earbuds there with the ear tips as well. Funny thing is, I don't think I've ever actually listened to a pair of any of the BlackBerry earbuds. Maybe I should make a video about that one day. I always leave all the stuff in the box because I'm so apt to resell or keep or collect things. I just keep using the same stuff. So I've never actually, I don't think, listened to a pair. I have to do that. But anyway, yeah, here's the part where I kept trying to turn it on, and it's like I'm dying inside right now thinking I'm turning the phone on. It's just not happening. Anyway, so now that we're done with the unboxing, let's talk about the actual phone and show it off a little bit. Ta-da! Here we are with the DTEK60. All right, it's a really interesting looking phone. I did not expect it to have such a premium build quality whenever I took it out of the box. I've really been kind of enamored with it this afternoon since I've had the opportunity to play with it. Physical fingerprint sensor on the back, headphone jack on the top, USB-C on the bottom. I didn't expect to see USB-C. I thought it was going to be micro USB. Quad HD resolution. Of course, it's running Android Marshmallow out of the box, but that's okay with me because I really liked Android Marshmallow a lot. I really hated it when we went on to Nougat, so I don't have a whole lot of heartburn there. They have the most peculiar placement of the power button ever. I mean, it's ideal if you're left-handed, but it's up here in the top left, which I don't really get. When I took it out of the box, I thought the little button over here on the right was the power button. I kept pressing it. I'm like, dadgummit, this sucker's dead. So, I plugged it in and all that good stuff. But this is actually the convenience key. You're going to see some precursor stuff in here to what we saw with BlAckBerry Mobile. The lettering on the box, the design, all this stuff. So many similarities. And it's funny because they actually built this on the Alcatel, I believe, Pop 4S model, which they also, I think, Alcatel used, or TCL used to make a Windows phone as well. Running a Snapdragon 820, no slouch whatsoever, flagship processor for that year, 2016, same thing that was in the Galaxy S7. So, yeah, not too bad there. It's capable of shooting 4K at 30 frames per second. And it's funny, I feel like really we just got 4K like a couple of years ago. But, looking at some of these older phones, I'm like, wow, we had 4K video back in 2016? Craziness. 3,000 milliamp battery, which wasn't terrible for back then, but the Snapdragon 820 was not the most power efficient processor, and really they were just trying to push for that straight line speed back then. So I'm not anticipating that this is going to get the most screen on time in the world. If I can squeak 3.5 to 4 hours out of it, I'm actually going to be happy. Volume rocker over here on the side. This was the first phone, actually no, the Prib did it, but they also have the little energy bar over here on the side. You can see when it's plugged in, letting you know how much time till it's done and also your battery percentage. I always kind of like that. It does have the hub and it has the DTEK security suite, all that stuff on there. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM. They swung for the fences with this one. The only complaint I ever had about this phone when it came out was that it wasn't a legitimate BlackBerry, and I was a diehard BlackBerry person. So for them to outsource it to TCL, I was like, this is not a real BlackBerry. This is not a real BlackBerry. Right now, I would give my arm and a leg for Xiaomi or somebody to make a BlackBerry just so I could have another one, but that's neither here nor there. 5.5-inch AMOLED screen, Quad HD Plus. The sound is on apparently. I'm getting a notification. But either way, AMOLED display looks great. Over 500 pixels per inch, which is really good. This was a big thing back then. We got Quad HD before the screens really got super huge with so many phones. So it's funny that 5.5-inch screen with the Quad HD resolution is over 500 pixels per inch, but then you get the newer ones now where it's like 6.8, 6.7 inch, and especially if it's a 1080p, and you're like in the 300 pixel per inch ballpark. So lots of condensed pixels in here. Looks really nice, vibrant display. I would say it has a lightly skinned operating system, but I mean, it's covered with BlackBerry stuff. And then you got the productivity tab over here you can pull out, which I never used. I didn't really find it all that useful. Then you've got the hub, which is a memory resource hog, which I also never really use with Android because it's just not the same as BlackBerry 10. It's really not. But fingerprint sensor works great. It's nice and snappy. No facial recognition, of course, because this was not quite on par with that yet. And yeah, it looks nice. It's a solid looking phone. It feels good in the hand. It's got a nice balanced weight to it. It's not overly thick. I think that they did a lot of good things with this phone, and just from me using it the little bit that I have today prior to making this video, it's enough that I see why people like it. I've had a lot of people, and I kind of alluded to this in the beginning, people have asked me, they're like, check out the DTEK, check out the DTEK, make a DTEK video. And I'm like, I gotta buy one. I never really wanted a DTEK device. But then I was browsing around on eBay and I found this one new in the box for $199. And I really don't like buying used ones. I like buying them brand new in the box, which is why I have so much heartache, because they cost me more money. I want to cut the tape. I want to pull the phone out of the box. I want to do the unboxing. And I want it to be my phone. I don't want to buy one that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old that somebody else used and then make a video about it. This sucker, I'm the very first owner. You can see I cut the tape and took it out of the box. And legitimately, I kind of like it. It's really a novel phone. And even the selfie picture you can see there is not all that bad. And it's kind of cool because I didn't expect this. In selfie mode, you can mess with the ISO right there and I believe that's right. You can mess with the lighting so you can try and get the ideal picture because it doesn't have self autofocus on the front apparently. It might have where it kind of autofocuses, but you can't, if you tap on it, it didn't really seem to do anything. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to explore this some more before I get into my full review and all that other stuff. This is just an initial impressions video and unboxing. So that's all I've got so far with the DTEK60. I am going to make another video. It is going to come out later, probably a couple of weeks from now. I've got so much stuff going on. I've got so many different things to review. I also got a ZTE Axon 10 Pro today. I also got a BlAckBerRy Storm. Lots of exciting stuff coming in the world of Tech Odyssey. I should be getting the new Pixel 4a soon. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff, and now we're already winding up into Samsung and Apple territory for their new phones. But this right here, really wanted to rip it out of the box, go ahead and make this and show off the DTEK60 and get a first look at it. But that's all I've got. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. And as always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.